The linotype is a machine invented at the end of the 19th century that revolutionized graphic arts by making it possible to cast lead lines for printing, replacing the individual metal types previously used to compose texts. This is the mixer used to thoroughly blend lead, antimony, and tin, ensuring everything is well mixed. The lead has melted in the melting pot and turned into a liquid state. Now it's time to pour it into the mold, which is shaped into 4 bars and surrounded by a water cooling circuit. Once the molds are filled, it will take about 10 minutes for the lead to cool and solidify. To check if it's cold, we touch it like this, and when we see it's cold, we repeat the process. Let's take them out. The 10.5 kilo lead bars are now ready. Look, the matrix is the key piece of the linotype. It holds the characters needed for printing. This matrix is made of special brass, engraved in low relief. It has the letters engraved, one in regular and another in italics, or with other styles, one in regular and another in bold. Depending on the position of the matrix in the machine, it picks up a character in bold or regular, italics or regular. Sandalio has dedicated his entire life to being a linotypist and eventually started his own printing business. His professional journey is more than enough to deeply understand this centuries-old machine. In the machine, first, there's the storage area, where all the matrices used to compose are stored. Depending on the type of letter, it has a storage unit. Composing consists of typing the desired text by pressing the appropriate keys. Generally, the linotypist works with all 10 fingers and does not look at the keyboard, but at the original document placed on the stand. The 90 keys are divided into 3 sections: lowercase letters on the left, numbers and punctuation in the center, and uppercase letters on the right. Each time a key is pressed, a mechanism releases the corresponding matrix, which is stored in order by letter in the storage unit. The matrices descend through the assembler along specific channels. After storage, once it's in place, it moves to the front, called the assembler. It's called the front because when the matrices fall from here, they hit the front, go down like this, stay here, and since the machine is running, this little star here starts aligning them. It brings them together one by one until the composer is filled according to the set measurement. The matrices descending through the assembler are placed in the composer in the same order they were typed. In the composer, a complete line of text is formed with words separated by what are called wedge spaces. The spaces are small steel pieces, socket keys, which are used to justify the line so that both left and right sides align. The crucible is a container that holds between 25 and 30 kilos of lead, covered by resistors that melt the metal and keep it hot until it is injected into the mold wheel. This is called the disc of the mold wheel machine. You can place 4 molds, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is used to set measurements we call shims, which are those pieces we have around here, depending on the different measurements, which go here, here, or here. The crucible's mouth, where the hot molten lead comes out, exits precisely through the opening left by the shims. If it's thinner, thinner. If it's wider like this, wider. And so the lead exits through here. And being in contact with the matrix, The letter is engraved, which we set in the casting machine. This is the purpose of the mold. The linotype mechanisms operate through a series of eccentrics that precisely activate the different parts of the machine at the right moment. The crucible always remains full of molten lead, thanks to the feeder, which slowly lets the bar descend as the level drops. The crucible's movement, driven by the eccentrics, facilitates the injection of liquid lead onto the matrix line, where all the letter forms are at the same height. Once the line is cast, the matrix block is no longer needed. An automatic arm is ready to collect the matrices at the casting unit and lift them to the distribution box. Each matrix has a special notch that distinguishes it from the others, which makes it easy for it to pass through the worm screw, and when it reaches the corresponding slot, fall precisely into place. When they find the corresponding slot, they drop in without confusing one with another, without mistakes, due to their specific combinations. The matrices then go to their corresponding compartment in the storage unit, making it difficult to run out of types when composing lines. Matrices not currently on the keyboard move along the bar until they drop into the counter box. Sandalio, the linotypist, continues composing lines without stopping, while the machine groups the matrices, casts the lead, organizes the cast lines, and returns the matrices to their original place in storage. If any error or accident occurs during the process, the machine can be stopped immediately. This lever here controls the entire machine. At any point, just touching this lever stops the entire machine. When the galley is full, the set of lines must be cut with a saw to separate the excess lead and leave the text ready for proof printing. So, we leave this here. See, now we ink it. We take ink that we've placed here, on this marble plate, with a rubber roller, like this. We apply ink to the letters we created on the linotype. Now we place a sheet of paper and roll over it. Then the proof is done. The proof is done. As a proof to read and correct any mistakes. The entire line is removed and a new one is put in its place. Then it's all fixed. With the printed paper, the text is reviewed to make the necessary corrections. Any modification or mistake in a letter requires redoing the entire line. If the text is correct, the lines can be sent directly to the printing press. Before the widespread use of linotype, composing lines was done manually, letter by letter. Today, more than 100 years after its invention, the linotype has become part of the history of graphic arts. The advancement of computers has completely retired it. The linotype is the cornerstone of all graphic arts.